We are learning tragic and shocking new details this morning about the murder of a young Sydney swimming coach after an inquest heard her killer carefully planned and even rehearsed her death. 21-year-old Lilie James was killed last year by her ex-boyfriend in the bathroom of the high school where she worked. It comes as new evidence suggests the killer had a history of control and manipulation. For more, we are joined by Executive Director of National Women's Safety Alliance, Catherine Burney, live in Canberra. Good morning to you. This was cold-blooded, it was calculated, it was planned. There's no other way to put it.
No, it's absolutely horrendous, and what we've heard though does follow a pattern of escalating behaviour from a very violent, very unwell individual.
We're also learning about his aggressive behaviours in the past, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we've seen a pattern of coercive behaviour. We've seen a pattern of escalating behaviour towards physical violence. Now, it seems in the situation with Lilie James, he escalated those behaviours exceptionally quickly after a brief relationship. But it is alarming, the details of his previous relationship, the incidents of surveillance, stalking, aggression. All the women who have been engaged with this person romantically that we know of through this inquest have said how uncomfortable and frightened they felt by this person.
So, look, everyone watching this morning and reading about this case would think, how do we stop this happening again? How do we identify these warning signs and what do we do about them?
I think it's really important to remember that coercive control doesn't start with an episode of violence. Coercive control is a very insidious form of abuse that begins as a slow burn and erodes sense of self. Now, this is someone who knew these behaviours, was comfortable enacting them in previous relationships and escalated to violence. I think the most important thing that we need to learn from this absolutely horrendous murder is that 98% of intimate partner violence contains an element of coercive control, that stalking, that monitoring. It isn't actually normal to have your location turned on your iPhone at all times for your partner to know where you are. That is not a healthy behaviour we should be encouraging, but also recognising this is happening everywhere. When we see a horrendous murder, we're seeing the pointy end of a crisis, which is unavoidable to look away from, but these behaviours are thriving in our society and they're thriving across a large number of Australians, and so we need to be aware of that.
Okay, so if you are the parents who often, just notice the subtle signs, or you are the friends, what exactly can you do?
I think you have to have a conversation, and it's an unpleasant conversation. I think no one wants to address this or bring it up, but we need to. The behaviours are so common that we should be having these safe conversations. I've noticed this about your relationship. Are you okay? I've noticed this. How do you feel about that? We don't want to start out by saying, I think you're in an abusive relationship, but we need to feel safe and empowered to ask these questions and opening questions, to have an open discussion about what's happening with our friends and our loved ones who we may be concerned about.
Okay. Catherine Burney, we thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Here's Sherbo.